Fine, so the shir is a little nishmasai Fitzashur and Meir ben Yisrael. So the discussion is Mechiras Chametz. Where did it start from? How it changed? The way we do things now isn't punked in the gemarah in the Shulchan Aruch. A little bit in the Shulchan Aruch, not so we'll see where it came from and how it changed. So the first of the Mechira which comes up in the gemarah is a Pashat Mechira, that it's before Pesach, you need to get rid of your chametz. You're not trying to play around, you're not trying to get it back, you just need to sell it, so you sold it to them. So there's two gemarahs which talks about it. There's one in Pesachim Chaf Aleph, in the first Gemara Makim. It says, Kol shash mutal la'echel, it's a Mishnah. The whole time you're allowed to eat the chametz, machil behema. You could feed it.
By the way, my son-in-law came
They don't.
They don't sell it to buy it back, but
but
they sell.
Yeah, but
They don't sell chametz gamor or any, but other chametz they do sell, no?
no, they don't sell it.
There's no mechira.
And they do better.
But you know the problem with that by literature is. I don't know about your son-in-law, but by literature, when they do that, you know what the problem is? When they go after places to buy food, they buy food by the guy who sold it.
Yeah, they have a hard time buying. Some people, I think I think we'll see. Though I think the OU they say you should only sell chametz, not chametz gomer, like things which is mixed into it. But like bread and pasta, they say that you shouldn't sell.
Yeah, but like he said,
They don't care to eat somebody. They don't.
Hey, chametz
want to have that issue.
chametz shavar olav Pesach is more lean. It's only the
They don't want to
rabbanon.
have their own chametz.
You can have the baby.
That's right.
I'm saying at least they're avoiding Isra Deraisa. After Pesach is only Isra Deravana, so it's more it's more calm. And also, so the first so there's a mission in Pesachim. It says Kol Shashamut Echel. The whole hour you're allowed to eat. Machil behema l'chayil leifis. You can feed it to your animals. Umeichel l'nachri, and you can sell to a goy. Mutar bahanos you'll have bineneh. Overs mani osir bahanasi. Once the time passes, osir is osir bahana. So this is the first marker you see about selling the chametz. So it's a pashat regular sale. You sell it to him, and you're not doing a cup. You're not trying to get it back.
What's the chiddush?
It's just a pashat thing.
Not giving an eitzah.
And also the mechira over here is a real mechira.
Make some money.
obviously you can always destroy it. But I mean, saying is if you're talking about serious value, what you do with it.
So over here we're not talking a large sale, a regular sale. If you have some bread, you sell it, and he's paying you the full amount of money. You're giving him the chametz, and he's keeping it, and it's a simple sale. Nothing complicated. Another place it comes up is in second Makim Psachim Yud Gimel. The Gemara says, "Ma'isa ba'adam echad shehefki diska malaya chametz eitzel yechanan." Some person left bags of chametz by a katan by a certain person before Pesach. So chakukav and nakvu achbarim, and mice rats opened it up. But haya chametz mevatzpes v'yesen. They saw there's chametz in there. So balifnei Rabbi, and they came before Rabbi before Pesach. They asked him what to do with it. Shari Shayna, the first hour of Pesach, Amar Hamtin. He said, wait, maybe the owner is going to come. Shniya, the second hour, Amalei Hamtin. He said, wait, maybe the owner is going to come.
Pesach, when is it?
Pesach. Shlishis, the third hour, Amalei Hamtin. Revis, Amalei Hamtin. Chamishis, by the fifth hour, it's going to become also soon. Amalei Seyim Meicher B'Shuk. He said, go out and sell it. So over here you see.
I don't know what the Nekva Achim is.
The Achbar? No, that's how they realized it was chametz.
And if they
label
chametz,
they didn't know. They didn't realize. That's how they realized. It's just Ma'aseh Shahaya. That's how they found out that it was chametz.
Okay, nothing to do with the.
Yeah.
You saw that there was.
I'm saying the back could have said chametz on it too, and it would have been the same story, right?
About selling?
We're trying to find where the Mechiras Chametz, where does it come from, and how it developed.
But this is not,
so this is just a regular Mechira. You're just trying to get rid of your chametz.
This one over here in Bays, in 2, is lav dafka raya for selling for chametz.
Right, our type of selling.
No.
Oh, you're saying you
because we know that if you find someone in Chovos Aveda, we know when you find something and it's going to eat you out of the house, you got to sell it. If you find a behemoth, it's going to cost you money.
Right, but if you wouldn't be allowed, it wouldn't say it. So the same way we see you can do it for Picard, you can do it for your own stuff too.
No, this thing over here, it's only because it's chametz, and this guy is not going to be able to have.
And if I lose money, a lot of money would be the
but
same.
you see,
I'm learning that this guy can lose money. I don't want to lose
Same
money.
way if I'm going to lose a lot of money, I'm allowed to.
but you see, you're allowed to have.
Same thing.
But you see, selling chametz.
Why same thing?
Same thing.
Why?
Okay, let's move
He
on.
doesn't lose money.
Let's move on. Let's see the next matter. It's we're building.
I was just same like me, not more than me. I could love the other guy the same like me.
We're building. So this is.
Okay.
This is why you find it in the gemarah. It was a pasha that's selling the chametz was simple. You gave it to him. You weren't trying to delay a cup. So the first makkah where you see selling chametz in order to try to get it back after Pesach is in the Tosefta. Yeah, so the third, it talks about someone's traveling on a boat and he had chametz with him and he needed to get rid of it. So it tells you could sell it to a guy and you buy it back from him after Pesach. So that's the first makkah you find for such a thing. So in the third Maramaka, it's the Tosefta Pesachim, Perek Vav, Mishnah Vav. Yisrael v'Nachisha Yivayi b'Sfina. Yid and a guy were traveling in a boat. The chametz beyond Yisrael, and Yid had chametz. So what should he do? Haizen Mechiras Chametz, sell to the guy that's with him. B'Neisen b'Matana. Sell to him and give it a gift. After Pesach, you could buy it back from him. But it has, you have to really mean it. It has to be a real matana. It has to be a real sale. So that's what. So this is the first time we see someone's where you could play around a little bit. You're traveling on Pesach. Either he has merchandise which he bought and he needs it after Pesach, or he needs food to eat on the boat. He's not going to have anything to eat after Pesach. Yeah, either. Yeah.
Okay.
So here's the first makkah we have, and the Tosefta goes further. It says Rashi saw Shemar l'Nachri. A Yid is allowed to tell a guy, instead of buying my chametz for me for 100, kach v'masayim, buy it for 200. And Shem etzanich v'avi ve'ekach mincha achar Pesach. And after Pesach. Maybe I'll need to come and buy it back from you after Pesach.
So I'm making a trick, but I shouldn't make a trick.
Oh, so this is, so you see, so playing around, you see in the Tosefta first he gives you the makkah that you're allowed to play around the shtetl selling the chametz.
If you sold him for very expensive, so he knows you're going to come buy it back from him. Okay, I learned the Rambam this week. I forgot already.
I'm not sure what the birth with the Messiah, because he's saying maybe means you're going to buy back for him for more expensive. You're going to buy back for him.
Why would you give away so much money? Maybe you'll walk off with it. Mm-hmm. Maybe you walk off with this money now, buy back. You just sold you something for nothing, or for twice the money. Something
right.
You're stuck on the same boat.
So there's this is the first makkah we have for the.
He has no food. He has no sustenance. He has no choice.
Right. So I'm not sure what the birth with the 200, 100, 200 is, but this is the first makkah we see that you could throw a couple little bit. You could try to play around. You sell it him in order that you could buy it back from after Pesach. Some gersais the Tosefta ends off with Bilvad Shel Yarin. As long as you don't play as you're not.
I love it. You
doing
play around the Bilvad Shel Yarin.
So the shaila is what does this mean, Bilvad Shel Yarin? The whole thing you're doing over here is playing around. What does it mean, Bilvad Shel Yarin?
They call it
Hirsche Geschäft.
Wait.
So before the Beis Yosef, there's some Rishonim that teach that. What's the whole ma'aseh over here that you buy for 200? They teach that you're going on the trip and you tell the Nachri is buying chametz bread for himself. So you tell him, instead of just buying for yourself, buy for 200. So buy enough for me and for you. And after Pesach, when we're on the boat, I'll buy it back from you. So that's so according to that, there's no playing around. You're not selling anything to him. There's Rabbeinu Menayach, he teaches like this. It's not you're selling chametz, you're just telling him, instead of buying only 100's worth of chametz, buy 200. And while we're later on the boat, I'll buy after Pesach, I'll buy it back from you.
You're setting yourself up for
yeah, but it's not this whole. That means you shouldn't do this whole day.
That's what it means.
And
he's buying food for himself. Buy not for 100. Buy for more people.
That's
for 200.
That's how Rabbeinu Menayach teaches.
But that's not the pashut.
That's how Rabbeinu Menayach teaches. And there's a pirush which also one that says that you shouldn't do this as a yearly thing. Just talking about a Maisa Shahaya doesn't mean you can't do it in a Kviyas away.
Lechatchila,
You're
you should get rid
traveling
of all
on a
your
boat.
chametz. Lechatchila, you should get rid of all your chametz. If it happens, that's what happened there by Pikadon. Normally, everyone got rid of all their chametz. It happened to be a story over there that there was a Pikadon that never got used, and they realized, because if they knew Lechatchila, they would have got rid of it.
So Maisa, sorry, they're traveling on a boat. They needed to do something, so therefore you can sell it to him. But you're not supposed to set it up like that. However, most of the Rishonim learned that you could do this as a yearly thing. It is a dreh. You're allowed to sell your chametz in order to get it back. But then the question is, what does it mean the whole thing is a harama. What does it mean? So basically, Zvan has this question. Look in the fourth Maramakim. He says in the Vashalei Aydin, Veini Mevin Dvarav, the Hashar Litni, the Matana Blachsa Lachai Achar Pesach. The Pesach that says you're allowed to sell it to him and then buy back after Pesach. Vein Lacha Harama Gdeilam Izay. There is no big harama than this. Afilu Hachi Sharia, still it's mutter.
Where's giving it to a guy?
You're not really. So you're selling it to him just to get around the Isser. You don't really want to sell to him. You just wanted to sell to him in order that you could buy it back.
I don't want to do a
Pesach.
lot of things, but I do it because that's the
One second,
that's the
if you're selling to him with the condition that you're going to buy it back, so what's the, like, what kind of game? It's a game.
Oh no, the basis says. Oh, that's what the basis says. What you're saying. He says ve'efshar the shalei yarin the kamahinu leimar shalei yimkar leitin le'al tonight. He says shalei yarin. He says when does it? The Teiseta says you want to sell to him and buy it back from him, but that's without making a condition. You're not to sell to him. You say, yeah, by the way, I might need to buy it back from you after Pesach. You don't make conditions that I'm only selling to you on condition that I buy it back from you. That's usher. That's the Veseisa says that he wants to say that's what it means. That you shouldn't make conditions that it's only sold to you if I buy it back. It has to be a real sale. You could tell him, you could hint him, by the way, I might want to buy it back from you after Pesach. But and you'll buy it back from him, but you can't make any conditions.
Okay, let's say he doesn't want to sell it back to you.
Oh, so that's where so that's why there are some mices that they had. I remember I heard this mice from. There's some mice where the guy Taka, so he came after Pesach said, "No, give me all the chametz. I'm not selling it back to you." So that I've told everyone to go bring all their shmatas and all their garbage and dump it by the guy's house. So everyone brought all their shmatas, all their garbage. Here's all the chametz. He dumped it on his doorstep, and he's like, "Never mind. You can keep it."
Now they do something smarter. They do it as a deposit. It's $1 million. Let's say you're selling the guy. Give a deposit $1. After Pesach, you'll pay the rest. But since he never gave the rest, it never really became his. Mm-hmm. That's what I heard. Something with that deposit they do. So that way, no guy could say, "Hey, I bought your beer factory for $1."
They make them pay the full price.
Right.
It's not cheap.
Yeah, just a deposit.
Oh, in other words, I'm selling it to you, 50K. If you want to keep it, you have to pay me
the balance after Pesach.
Oh, so the question is, well, how much is he actually paying, right? If the little price is $1 million, how much is he? Actually paying?
Deposit, it's still yours.
No, you sell it to him, it becomes his. But part of the condition of the sale is you owe the rest.
You'll pay me after such and such a
update.
Oh, so yep.
So that's
the rest of $1 million.
Is that called legal? Is that called a legal
Halakha.
sale?
If you pay,
is it a legal sale?
Oh, so this is a question: how do you do the kinyan?
Deposit, so it really belongs. It still belongs.
So we're going to touch on that a little bit, not so much how do you do the kinyan, but a little bit. But before that, you see, so the kinyan over here was a real sale, right? See, so far it's still different the way we're doing it. You're actually giving him the chametz, what they're talking about over here. He's actually paying for you, paying for it in full. You're giving him the money, and you give him the chametz, and he takes it to his house, and that's the sale. The sale, it's a proper sale.
But when you're selling, you still have it in your house.
Oh, so we'll see.
You're not giving him the keys to your house.
So the Trumas Hadeshin, some of the Rishonim write that you have to actually chametz. The guy needs to take the chametz to his house. It can't be in your house. This is what the Trumas Hadeshin writes.
Right.
We'll read it inside the fifth Maramakim. Trumas Hadeshin writes that you have to, when you sell the chametz, the guy needs to actually take it. It can't be in your house. He writes in the fifth Maramakim. He says Shaila. Someone who has in his house, someone who has chametz in his house close to Pesach, the kasha olav avarim, it's hard for him to destroy it. the sitam. He wants to give it to a guy chutz lebayis who's outside his house. And this guy, the Yisrael knows him. He knows he trusts the guy. He won't touch it the whole klal, the whole Pesach. He'll keep it the whole Pesach. Then he's going to give it back to him. Is this mutter or not? So he tells him tshuva yir the shari. So you see in the Tumas Hadeshin, these were real shilas and answers. Tumas Hadeshin wrote both the question and the answer. So you see in the shayla that he wrote that you have to give it to a guy chutz lebeisei. You have to give it to a guy who's outside his house, and the beisei.
No, maybe a guy who I knew, even this guy if I knew this guy and I gave it to him, maybe even chutz lebeisei won't be enough. But a guy I don't know, maybe will be enough for my house.
The beisei of the Magen Ram, the Taz, they all learn out from the Tumas Hadeshin. You have to sell it to a guy who doesn't live in your house, and he's taking the chametz out of your house.
I don't see that.
They learn
a guy that I know very well. You would think maybe even out of the house doesn't help. You would think that out of the house doesn't help because I know him very well. But a guy that I know very well, do it out of the house. But a regular guy, maybe I can do in the house. This is the way I'll understand this from actually. But I hear what you're saying. They understand. They understand from.
Right. They understand from the Tumas Hadeshin, and that's the psak. The chametz can't be in your house. You sold to the guy; he needs to take it into his house. So that's how. So the Mechiras Chametz they did. That's what they did. They actually gave it to him, and everything was done like that. So the question, but as things developed, so apparently back in the times and when was the Bach? The Bach was in the 1600s. So apparently, the business that all the Yidden were into, they sold beer and mashka and yain tzraf, they call it. And also, besides for another thing they did with the leftovers of the barley or the grain from what they used for making alcohol, they would also use it for bringing up animals. They would fatten animals and they would sell them either for milking or for shechting, and they would use the chametz to fatten up the animals. So this was all what most of the Yidden know. There are tons of tshuvas. All the achrayim they're talking about what do you do with the chametz on Pesach. It seems like this is the business that all the Yidden are into. So making mashka and feeding the leftover grain to the animals. So what do they do? And the Bach says you can't. It's a lot of chametz. You can't tell the guy to take it to your house. Oh, and the guy's not going to pay for all of it.
You sell him the place.
Oh, so the Bach comes up. He tells them that he gives the answer that you can sell your house with it. Either rent him the room, or rent him the room where the chametz is in, and therefore it's as if it's in his house. It's not in your house. So this is on the 6th Maramok, and he writes, most of the business from all the Yidden they deal with selling mashke. And he can't sell it to someone who doesn't live in their house. Not sure what urdena is. It's some type of mashke maybe.
Or a warehouse.
Maybe. You should sell him side all the chametz in the room and sell him the room also. So this is
you're selling the chametz in the room
with the room also, because you want it to be in his house. You're not supposed to have the chametz in your house. It's supposed to be in the guy's house. So therefore, you rent in the room which the chametz is in. That's what we do when we sell the chametz.
You're not selling a room, whatever. It's in a closet, so you're selling the closet.
The room, the closet.
But the question is, what happens? You have a freezer, right? You have chametz in the freezer. You're selling your chametz. You're putting it back. You're bagging it. Like you're closing it up. Right? Not everybody has a place of freezer,
Yeah.
So and they don't have a place to put the chametz, right? So what do? You put it in the bag. You close it up, and that's this part is chametz.
A part of the freezer.
Right.
You use that to your Pesach take a freezer also.
Yeah. So the question is,
you probably
you sell that part of the freezer.
You probably need to close off that area, like put tape around it.
You separate.
And I guess you're renting him that area of the freezer.
There's a box to cover it.
Yeah, right.
That's it.
But you can't say, so you're not selling
Well, that corner becomes like its own little freezer.
Yeah.
So it's
Turkey,
like
that's what I'm doing for you.
Cubicle.
You can rent space in your freezers over Pesach.
We're trying to get away from schlepping your chametz out of the house and coming up with ideas, and you want to make
it started off with a proper real sale. The guy actually paid you for it, and you actually gave him the merchandise. Oh, my bought it back from after Pesach. And here you see how it starts changing. The guy doesn't really take it to his house. It stays in your house. You just rent in the room. Another thing that changes about the guy wasn't going to pay you the full price for all the chametz. So they have to do the guy will give a down payment. You give a few rubles to make the kinyan. And what about the rest of the money? So the lashon to use is zakval b'milva. That it was that is you consider it's you didn't pay me that, but you owe me. The sale takes place. The sale is already made right now. They're selling it so a few thousand. It's a few $1,000, it's $100,000 worth. So you sold him for $100,000. He only gives you $10 now, and the rest is on loan. The rest of the money, money is on loan, and he owes it to
That's
you.
a business already. Yeah.
You don't pay.
No. What we're saying is we don't want it to be that the sale dollar amount wasn't done.
Yeah, you buy it back
Sale
for
was
100.
totally done. I only gave you $10 out of $1 million. The rest is a loan to you.
Suppose the guy wants to.
Okay, so it's not like a mortgage still belongs to the bank.
He says,
It's not like a mortgage that would belong
Pesach
to the bank.
starts, he says, you know what?
It's
I don't
not
want
like
it.
a mortgage,
It's mine.
right?
If it's a mortgage, the bank has rights to it.
No, but he
till-
can't. You already made the sale. He already bought it.
Here we're saying
You're not going to buy it.
So no matter
only if
what,
you don't pay.
The sale is done.
The
Only if
guy
you don't
can't
pay.
say, here's your money back.
The
It's
sale
not
is
like a
done.
mortgage, it's a legal
The
sale.
sale is done. It's already sold.
Only if you don't pay it.
Fine, you come back, maybe I'll buy it back from you after Pesach, but the sale is sold.
Only if
The
you
sale
don't
is
pay it, then
done.
the bank can take it away. So it's really your
There's-
money.
Collateral.
So after,
Once you sign it, so it's a signed thing. Even if the guy says, even if the guy in the middle of Pesach says, here, you take the money, I don't want.
So a lot of people were. So this is where the whole sale starts looking very funny, right? The guy's not really taking the chametz. He's not really paying you. So this is where all the different kinyanim. The Rabban wanted to make sure that was a proper sale. So they made a whole. They decided you have to write a star and you have to make all the different kinyanim. We wanted to make sure that as much as we could that it's a proper sale, even though it looks very funny. And there's an interesting thing that came out. The Chassan Sefer brings down that someone wanted to get the Yudin into trouble. So they snitched they went to the Tsar. They call him the Kira. I'm not sure whether, I guess that was the Tsar. I'm not sure who the Kira was. They told him that when you make sales, you have to give a sales tax. You have to pay the taxes. So he told them every year, all these Yudin, they're all selling their chametz and they're not paying taxes. So they wanted to get the Yidden into trouble for all the business they were doing over here. So look at how in the 7th Maramaki, the Chasam Sefer brings down this Maisa. It says Vihine biyes adayin hagoin meidi harav baruch Frankel's hatzal based in the Kal Leifnik the Chaim Chayusi while he was alive. Ira Maisa shehoshinim al shinim eitzel Sari Hamdina. They went to Sari Hamdina of the Merin. Shehudim Meichin. They told them Shehudim Meichin chensem b'shtaris mebli stempel chisem akira. Without the stamp. They sell chametz without the stamp of this kira of the Tsar. And the din was that every time you make a legal document, you have to pay to get the stamp on it.
Sales tax. They're doing it under the table. No receipt. No nothing.
It's always been the black market.
Yeah.
So they're trying to get the into trouble. They call him the Chassid Kira. I'm not sure.
They're using kira on everything. I don't know. It's an abbreviation for something.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. So Omar, he said, "Hadavar yadua she'ein ze masav matan shal tagav." He says it's not. Everyone knows that this is not a real business deal. Ella Indian Tasser religion. It's a religious thing they're trying to.
Messed up the whole thing. Yeah.
It's a religious thing.
Look.
Yeah, Al Kein V'Chiv Stempel. Ein Zed V'Chiv Stempel. It's not a proper step. Al Yidei Nil Exas Safik V'Leiv Hagoin Zatzal Hanal the Mashma the Medina the Machus Apostle Ashtarahun.
He said it's only a trick. It's not a real sale.
So you're saying if the government doesn't the government doesn't recognize the sale, it's just they're playing around. It's just a religious thing that they have to do. So
it's not a sale. Now it became. Now he killed it.
Right. So the shaila is what kind of sale is this? If it's not a proper sale.
It's bringing back to the first question, the first concept. That's it.
Yeah. So the divrei Chaim of Tzanz, he taka right says in Echanami, we're not doing it's not a mechira alpi dinin de malchus. It's a mechira alpi teira. It's a sale. We're not doing this mechira alpi. It's not alpi dinin de malchus. We're not. It's a Yiddish sale. It's not in Echanami according to our din. It's not a sale. According to our din, it is a sale.
What does Yiddish sale mean?
Al Piteira, he was koined. Al Piteira, if he comes to you and asks,
Al Piteira, Al Piteira,
meaning
you have to pay sales tax on it.
Right, but Al
There's no conflict here. Pay it.
No, but didn't
you have to pay it.
But didn't the Malchusa can
he
make?
was nice. He said Amoichel the things. He said it in a nice way.
So the Chasam Sefer, he wants to say that even according to the Malchusa is a proper sale. How so? So he goes in the second paragraph, he writes, I don't agree. Ki hashtar kosher is a kosher star. Heim b'nei Yisrael, that im ba hagoy lahitzi mikche b'dayanim hari hu shaloi. If he comes to Dayanim, he says, is Heim b'nei u'mitzayim. It's also a proper sale. El she'az kishit be'enu
it's illegal.
When he's not illegal, no. Yeah. Only if he comes to actually take it, tzarich l'shalom tchilash temple. It is a proper sale also by the goyim. It's just if you actually want to take the chametz, then he'll pay for the stempel of the kira.
He took possession. He owned the room.
It was a proper sale, but right. He explains better afterwards. Look, since the kira was such a good person, it says for such a sale they're not chayiv to pay. Since you're not trying to sell it like a merchant to make business, since you're only doing it to get rid of this
more than before about religion. Why is he happier now?
No, because he's saying what happens if this guy takes the star, he goes to the kira and he pays for the stempel, and he says, I want to take the chametz. Al pidin malchusa, it's going to work. He has a stamp, and he's going to be able to buy it. It is a real sale. It's just for this type of sale. It's not the type of sale that the government put taxes on. The government put taxes people who are selling things back and forth and making business. So therefore, they charge taxes. Here, since you're not really doing it, it's a proper business. You're going to buy it.
You did.
Since
you sold your house.
It's a sale, but it's not a business. It's a sale, but it's not a business. It's a sale. He owns it.
You left out one product. The product you left out, and I understand what they were saying. How does this guy know that it's not a real sale? You told him something at the beginning.
What did you tell him?
You made a real star. You told him, I'm selling it to you in my house. My room is your room now. It's yours as much as it could be. And we didn't pay taxes on it. Were we planning to pay later? Did we write it properly?
No, but he's saying this sale is not chayiv in taxes. It's not that it wasn't a real sale.
How does the guy know this?
That is the Chassan Sefer explaining. It's not because you're not. The reason you're not paying taxes is not because it's a sale. It is a sale.
Yeah, it is a sale. But how did he know that? How did he know that he's buying it back
tax deductible?
You hinted it to him.
Okay.
Throw a big aram in and you're good.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. He had to tell him something. In order for this to be that way.
The Alter Rebbe in the Nusach Hashtar, the Nusach the Alter Rebbe wrote for selling the chametz. Alter Rebbe also wrote similar to the Chassan Sefer. In the 8th Makim, he writes, "Bershus nesunal hatik niksav zeh." And the Rishus is given to the Goy to copy this letter, Beloshin Rusia, in order to make to translate into Russian, Be'izamaki Mishpat, whatever Hakira, wherever wherever the judges are, Al Haniyar Harabavi, the type of paper you have to write it on, Lashalim Nesinas Hakira, the Yostekev Michtav Zeh, Ketekev HaContract, Hanasa Kinimus Vidas Hakira. So the permission is given for him to copy this down and get it signed by the kira and to be an official document. Both for renting out the rooms, both for the sale of the chametz. So you see, the Alter Rebbe Bavarin this problem that
we have paid it with the government to do this thing. They
said that the Alter Rebbe wrote that it should be a proper sale, even al pidin de malchusa.
How does that work?
Because if the person wants, this is a proper sale. If the person wants to actually take the chametz, he could bring it. He could go to the court, have it signed, and then he'll be able to take it. So that
means they go to court and they say, we're going to pay you the tax in a month if this contract really goes through.
Yeah.
And then they will revattle the contract. So they did it with a proper receipt and they did it everything, but they canceled it before they paid the tax.
Not that they canceled, they bought it back. If he canceled it, that means he never bought it. So that would be a problem. It's not that they canceled it, he bought it back after from him.
then you should owe double tax now. There's two
No,
taxes
you
due
don't
to the
pay
government.
taxes on your. You're
There's
not
two.
making
There's on
money
this
on
sale
it.
and on that sale.
But for these types of sales, the government won't mechayiv taxes. The government was only mechayiv taxes when you're making profits. When you're having a profitable business, the government wants a portion of your profit. If you're not making a profit over here, the government.
You buy something.
Sure, he's making a profit. The guy's making a profit.
It looks to me like they arranged it with the government.
You make a bad sale.
They let the
Make a
government
bad
know.
sale.
The government was made for the tax.
So
But you're trying to make profit. You're not trying to make profit
You
over
owe
here.
tax.
It's not
I
going
buy
to
something,
court.
You owe
paying
tax,
tax, right?
yes.
Paying tax. I decide,
You sell it to someone else,
return
there's
it.
tax
No,
again.
he says no return.
What?
Return means that you didn't make the sale, so it's no good. That's a canceling the sale. It says
You're selling
buying
it back to me by return.
It's
Okay.
twice the sale.
Okay, the
Yeah.
way Tzvi's saying is you're selling it back to me.
So it's the same way. There's no loss. There's no gain, no loss.
I'm not sure how that works.
It's a
With the
return.
sales
What?
tax.
On a return. If someone returns something, you get something back.
But there was no sale tax, no sale lechatchila.
On the
We don't want to
return?
call it a return. We don't want to call it by Pesach a return because then it's batul mafreya was saying.
No. The guy, the lady bought the dress and everything, and the shoes and whatnot.
That's how it is normally. But by Pesach we don't want to say a
return.
return. By Pesach we want to say I sold it to you and you sold it back to me. Because if we say you returned it, then there was no sale lechatchila and I owned chametz for Pesach. So according to this way you'd owe double tax. But I think they arranged it with the government here. They let the government know what we're doing, and the government was meichel. That's what I understand what they did in the Russian way.
Yeah, I'm not. That's what it sounds like.
If you sell your warehouse, Trump's warehouse, or whatever it is, and then the guy sells it back to you.
So they let the government know that we're doing this type of thing, and the government said that's
You're not
okay. We're
chayving
not going to
taxes.
demand
You're
the
not.
tax
You're not
from
making
you.
profits.
Because we understand it.
Talking about the chametz part.
The chametz part.
one doesn't
So if it's a
quite
proper
understand.
sale, that's what we do. If it's a proper sale, then it's okay. So think of one thing. So this is kind of like this is like what we do. But one thing is different. Back then, there used to be everyone did their own sale. In the back there was a nusach which the Rav would give around to everyone. Everyone had their own star. They were signing with the guy. Or in the back of different haggadahs had a nusach of the. The back of the haggadah they had a.
Same thing. You had a rub there. You sold it to the rub, and the rub.
No, that started later. Originally, the way it was is that everyone did their own sale.
Why did it start?
So everyone did their own sale. They printed nusach on back of the everyone did their own sale. But the problem was you have a lot of people doing their own sales. People don't really understand the dinim, and a lot of things go wrong.
So that's why the Rabbanim
A lot,
said that.
a lot of times, a lot of people started messing things up and doing mistakes. Like they sold them the key, they didn't actually sell them the house, or they fried the chametz, and there were a lot of big mistakes that were happening. So the times of the Sheil Meshiv, he was the first one that brings up the concept that some Rabbanim they started making these public community sales, and he writes against it. This in Tafresh Hazayim. That's when the community sales first started, and a lot of places came out against it at first in the beginning. What was the problem with it? So there were two main problems they had. The first problem was that the place you write that you need to have the signature of the seller on the star. How did they do it? They gave pershus to the Rav to sell the chametz for them, and the Rav sold to them. But if you don't have the signature of the person buying it, you can't prove it.
But you do sign. You do sign.
He signs it after first the
But
seller.
on the sale where the Rav is signing, the contract that the Rav is signing with the guy, everyone didn't sign their names on that. It was only.
You put your name down on it.
Now you do.
Oh, so
Maybe then they did. That's what they went
So
around.
when it first started, so that was one problem they had. The second problem they have was he's selling 100 chametz for the whole town. It's a lot of chametz, and how much is the guy paying? He's paying $10-$20. He's not paying that much money. So it turns out there isn't a shava pruta for each person who's buying the chametz. To make a kinyan or to buy something, you need to give him a shava pruta. If it doesn't have a shava pruta, it's not worth anything. So he's giving a small amount of money. So the Rav sold it for a few hundred people in the town, $10. It's not a shava pruta for each person. So some place one taina that's a problem. It's not a good kinyan. So what's
that way when they were selling it from the person to the guy, or from the person to the Rav to the guy?
Oh, so there are two different. Some people would first sell to the Rav and then they sell to the guy. Some people do it differently. They would just give the Rav Rishus to sell for them. So if you're just giving, which that's what we do, we just give the Rav Rishus to sell to them. I think that Rabbeinu they would actually sell to the Rav.
But we also give the Rav some money anyway. You're giving him money.
No, but the money is just as appreciation for her service. It's not. You're actually not selling it to him. So you're really just giving him reshus. You're making him your shliach to send it for you.
Okay, so by you giving him the money, so even though it's appreciation, you're not giving back that money, but it's like saying I'm giving you. So it becomes his because
no, it doesn't. It doesn't become his. The money you're giving to him has nothing to do with for selling the chametz. It's just you're giving him a tip.
Thank you.
The din is that when you make a sell, he must give you at least a couple of pruta for it.
What's the kinyan? You're making the kinyan through the money. If there isn't shavat pruta, what's the kinyan on?
It doesn't be. You could be selling more shine, not with kesef.
So the shai is we do a few kinyanim. One of the kinyanim is the kesef. So they tell you this is a good kinyan. So let's see. So what do they do about this? So look in the 10th Maramakan, there's a chub from the Divrei Nehemiah. Right, it's Gam Afi Masha Pikvek B'Sefer Makar Chaim, the Makar Chaim from the Chavas Das. He writes, Tafim Ches B'Shechasam HaShliach. He says if the Shliach signs his name, not the actual owner, it's not a good sale. The actual owner needs to sign his name. It says, Im Kein Yesh La'ayin L'min Hageinu Aydei Shar Klali. He has to sign his name. He has to give a signature because you need proof. If the guy wants to actually collect the chametz, if the owner's signature is not signed over here.
I write my name. I don't think I signed it.
Oh, so we're going to see. So he's going to say what we do nowadays. So if the person who's selling it, his name is not there, who cares if the Rav's signature is there? You need the owner of the signature of the owner of the chametz. So he writes, Lafi hanire al kapanim roi limser gam hashtar klali la'ivi kechavim. So he says also the shtar klali, where everyone signed their names and they're giving reshus to the person, you should also give this to the guy. A lichtev hashtar mechira al niyar hashtar klali, or to write the sale on the same document where you wrote that everyone gives permission. So this is the Eitzah, that's what we have, and I guess I'm assuming that's what the Rabbanim do nowadays. They give the actual star where everyone signs their name. When you're giving him permission to sell, they give that star also to the guy, so he has proof that he actually bought the chametz.
Right.
So that's one thing. And what about the second problem that there's not a shavat pruta? So the problem they bring is there's a gemarah Kedushin that says that boy Rav shtei bnei sechel shnei banai bepruta mahu. Someone has two daughters and he has two sons. He says, I'll give you one pruta to be mekadesh both of your daughters to both of my sons. So what's the din? Is it a good Kedushin? So you think about it, one pruta, that means only half a pruta to be kind of each daughter. So you can't. So there's not a shavat pruta. So is it a good Kedushin? So what's the question? Basar Neisin Mekabels. Do you say that I'm giving it to the person, so I'm giving him a pruta, and he's receiving a pruta. The father is receiving a prota, so you have a shavat prota. Maybe you go after the daughters, and for each daughter there isn't a shavat prota. So the question comes up over, and the Gemara says teiku. We're not sure if it's a proper condition. So the shayva comes up also over here. And one Rav is selling it for a bunch of people. So even though he is giving a shavat prota, but there isn't a shavat prota's worth for each person who is. So some people had a problem with this. But some people want to say that it's fine. It's not a problem. The chalkas yav, you want to say that it's different because you're buying when it comes to kedushin, each person is a separate kedushin. It's not this. You can't say it's one sale. There are two separate ends. You can't put them together one big group. When it comes to sales, really you're buying one big thing. If it would instead of buying
one lot.
Yeah, instead of being two separate pieces of chametz.
By food, it's more mutzah.
Yeah, if it was instead of being two separate pieces of chametz, it was one big piece of chametz, it would be the same thing.
If the sisters were going for one man, it would be okay.
But it's
still two separate
items.
But it's all food. People are different.
It can't be kind of two noshim with one pruta. So in the third Maramakim, we'll end off. We'll read the lashon inside. He writes, "Ha'chiliku the shnei paris v'shnei karkois in hakina koine mitam shehem shnaim." He's not buying two separate things. Rak mitam sheshava kach lekach. It's not that it's when you buy two cows for $100. It's not that I'm giving you $50 for this cow. It's two separate deals. It's one sale. I'm buying something worth of $100.
We don't buy Nashim wholesale.
Yeah.
It's each one is a separate.
If it was one cow, which was worth both of them, you would also be able to acquire it. It's only a value. It's one sale with a value of 100. It doesn't matter if it's one body or two. Whereas when you're being mekadosh two ladies, you can't. It's not shot that it's you're buying. It's not one package deal. It's two separate sales. It's two separate kedushin. Therefore,
put on the lot in the box.
So you're saying he could be less than
yes, I think some
I think the case from Kedushin, that's not okay. But in a regular case, that would be fine.
Yeah. So this is how the whole thing developed. It started off in the Gemara that they were doing real sales. Actually, you need to sell the chametz. Then it came that sometimes the Shas Hadchak, someone's on a boat, they would do this harama to get it back, and then eventually it became a yearly thing. And then they stopped actually giving the chametz, and then they stopped actually giving the money, and then they started doing the star. Some people, there's some placing that wanted to say that some placing with the two ashur, some chashuv placing they were bothered with the whole sale. They said it's very funny. It's a funny harama. They said they were only matir mechiras chametz on something which is only midrabanan. Only chametz which is only midrabanan. That's when they were matir mechiras chametz. But chametz which is mamash midaraisa, they weren't matir mechiras chametz. Some people nowadays, I think they can do that. I think the EU says you should only sell chametz, which is actual bread and pasta. They say you shouldn't sell. But things which only has chametz mixed into it, which is only midrabanan, that they're matter to sell through chametz. So they get rid of it before Pesach.
Chametz for sure allowed.
They don't have the flour. What's the answer? They don't stock nothing.
Who does this?
But he could see who.
Oh yeah.
You're giving him a ton.
So a lot of people in Bar Park, a lot of people they won't sell real chametz.
Okay,
They only.